I just want to make a quick disclaimer at the start of this video that this is not a great video. This is not really a DIY. This is just a video with some info in it about the water pump seal job. So yeah, watch it, enjoy it. Hopefully it helps someone. Yeah, let me know in the comments if it helps. That'd be great. Okay, enjoy the video. Gonna be giving you guys a little quick DIY on replacing the water pump seal in the frame on this 79 CX500. So this has the smaller diameter seal housing, so you can't replace the whole seal. You have to do the Chef method, which is basically ungluing the new seal and then gluing it into your existing cup, which is in the motor, pressed into the motor. So, okay, let's get going and pick this back up. Okay, so get your gas tank off, your seat off, obviously. And then get your engine mount, that would be here normally, off. And then after that, start going for those cables and those carbs. Oh yeah. Okay, now you get your carbs off. We can start draining the coolant at the bottom of the radiator. A little bit of a panel you gotta pull off, but yeah, drain the coolant. Pull off these mounts here for the hard line, which then can be pulled out of the cover, and we'll pick it back up there. Just a quick tip when you're draining your coolant. This bike's got tires that need to be replaced, but as you can see, I got a cardboard piece there because this splashes like crazy when it's coming out of the rad. So you don't want to get your tires that you're gonna be riding on covered in coolant. So just do that. Okay, now your cover's off and you've removed your impeller. It's pretty straightforward. There's just this is what your impeller is gonna look like, and there will be a castle nut. Let me just get it out of here, like this. Castle nut with a copper washer, which happens to be stuck on mine, and that'll come off and the impeller comes off. And also, just to take note, you've got I think it's called a distance washer or spacer. There we go. So that will be underneath behind your impeller. And I'll do a little, not a diagram, but I'll show you exactly the positioning, of everything in just a bit. So, okay. So now just take out that old seal, if it's stuck at all, and prep the area for the new one. Okay, started cleaning up in the cup a little bit. Just ran a bit of 220 grit sandpaper in the cup just to scuff it, so the adhesive has a better chance of sticking, right? So let's see if I can get a shot in the cup of any use. Kind of, sort of, maybe. Yeah, you can kind of see it's clean. So you want to get it clean, and you really want to degrease in there. Whether you're using like acetone or brake cleaner, whatever. But just something to get in that inside of that cup, in that pocket in there, very clean and oil free. So yeah, let's kind of pause on this right now and go down to do the seal removal. Okay. Oh, and this is the seal I'm using. It's a Yamaha seal. I think it's a Raptor 700 water pump. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it is. So yeah, that's what works. Cheaper than the Honda seal. And don't do the Amazon seals. They don't work very well. Okay, so we're having a little water pump seal barbecue down here on my camp stove. So yeah, I don't have access to like a induction stove, which would definitely be the better move, I think. So you could just place the cup directly on the induction element and it would just heat up. I don't have that, so I just have this little camping stove I can use. And yeah, just put a piece of aluminum or something beneath it. That way you're not just blasting the rubber and everything with like indirect flame. So yeah, that should do it. Kind of like a rule of thumb, when you start seeing a little bit of smoking coming out of the thing, then the glue is probably letting go and you're good to try to pull it apart. And do not pull too hard. Like if you need to give it excessive force, you're probably gonna rip the seal or damage it. So just kind of, yeah, intermediate force, I would say. You know, maybe you want to get an Amazon seal just to test, even if you're really worried. But yeah, all right, I'll let you know when it's all done. Okay, just like that, it's apart. So you can see this is the bottom, which would be glued into the cup. And yeah, so basically just pull it apart. There's a bit of glue on it. You probably want to clean off. See if you can kind of see that glue there still. Yeah, probably want to take like a Scotch-Brite or something to it. Maybe a small pick, just very carefully scrape out that old glue there, and then prep it for your new, or not for your new, but for your old cup on your old bike. Your new seal though, that's the important part, new seal. Okay, so get her done. Okay, we got a new pole mitt in there. The other half of the back side of the seal has been degreased. And now I'm gonna go ahead and glue in the seal. I'm gonna be using Loctite 454 to secure it. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking is gonna work best. It's you know, suitable for coolant and high enough temperature. It seems like what they use from the factory, so let's see how it goes at least. Okay, so glue's applied. It's gonna go in right now. All right, seal's in. I put the impeller in without the distance spacer. Just not like super tight or anything, but just run it down. And that basically just applies some force against that seal. And yeah, let that cure overnight. Go back at it, you know, 24 hours later, pull the impeller off, put the distance washer in, put it back together, of course, right? And yeah, should be good to go. But yeah, I'll explain, I guess, the orientation of all the parts, just in case someone's wondering. Okay, so when you're putting your seal into the motor, you'll notice there's two little tabs almost, or little, yeah, whatever you want to call them, little bump outs on the cup, which will be in the engine, of course, like that. Those are going to line up with those little notches in the seal. I hope you can see that. Yeah, it's kind of visible. So anyway, that drops in like, oh, Blake's taking a little pee. That drops in right here like that. You can't really put it in wrong. You know, it won't line up. So yeah, so that's gonna go in the cup. In the bike, of course, with glue on the back side. And then you'd have your, you know, your water pump shaft coming out. You'll drop this guy on. This will be in your impeller. You know, if you could picture the back, like this rubber portion would be inside the impeller. This part would be sticking out, the white part. And then this will go like that onto there. And then you will go copper washer and nut on top of the impeller. And that's it. And of course, yeah, do a little bit of Loctite, blue Loctite on the thread of the, at the end of the water pump shaft. I believe Honda spec'd Loctite on the nut, so probably worth doing. It's not gonna hurt. Just definitely don't use red Loctite, and definitely don't over tighten the nut. Use a torque wrench. It's the next day, and the glue is dried on our seal. So took the impeller off. I've got the new, you know, Pullment in there, and put a little bit of, can't really see it, it's clear, but a bit of dish soap on the face of the Pullment just to provide some lubrication for the first startup, so this doesn't stick to the water pump seal face, and then I would just rip that and start leaking. So yeah, don't forget to do that. Okay, at this point you've put your nut on with the Loctite, like I said, you've torqued it. I do 74 inch-pounds. I think works out to like 7 foot-pounds, somewhere like that. Yeah, so do that, and then just put your cover bolts on. Those things I just do, you know, hand tight. Just use your brain. You know, these are M6s, these are M8s, so probably like 8. If you really want a torque spec, probably like 84 inch-pounds for the M6s, and maybe, I don't know, 100 inch-pounds or or so for the larger bolts, but don't use that as gospel. Look that up if you really want to know the exact spec. So yeah, and then after this, just kind of the same, the removal or the reverse of the this assembly, and yeah, fill your bike up with coolant, give it a rip, and fingers crossed that you did it right and there's no coolant leaking out of that pesky weep hole. Oh, and speaking of that weep hole, I forgot to mention, you should clean that out with a little drill bit when you have everything disassembled. Just if that is plugged with gunk, oil residue and dried coolant and stuff, you will have a coolant leak. If it were to leak, it would leak possibly into the engine through the oil seal. You want to have a good path that any sort of coolant leak to exit the engine and not have a chance for it to go past the oil seal, which sits behind the water pump seal. So yeah, make sure that's clear. Small drill bit, just run it up and down the hole a couple times and you're good to go.